Everyone, Chris McGarahan Junior here, coming to you from our training center in Orange County, California. And I'm sitting down with Kiara Bailey, who is very unique in a very special industry. And ladies, you're really going to want to listen, because Kiara is the founder and creator of Charmsies, the hair, what would you call it, the hair jewelry?
Yeah, iron and hair charms.
Also Hair Lingerie, which is a form of hair extensions, and an ultra successful hairstylist yourself, correct?
Yes.
Well, Kiara, first and foremost, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule. I know you got a lot to do, so real quick, Kiara, you're extremely successful in, obviously, the hair industry, the cosmetics industry. Would that be correct?
Beauty, yes.
Beauty industry. Obviously, I'm a man with no hair, so that's not really my forte. But for the viewers watching, you know, it's pretty. Would you say success is pretty universal, whether it be in hair, any other form of business, real estate, finances, or even relationships? Are there common denominators, common success principles that you use to get to where you're at right now?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, like
Definitely
what?
goes throughout different fields.
Different fields, spectrums.
Yeah,
what are some key success principles that got you to be so successful in hair lingerie, Charmsies, and as a hairstylist?
Well, I think the number one thing that I always talk to people who are up and coming in business about is doing more than is required, doing more than you're paid for. I think that principle in itself sets you apart, which in the business sort of sphere that we live in and exist in nowadays, people blend together. Everybody's been to college, everybody, you know, has a degree for something or another.
Yeah.
So people start to become very similar. So what really sets you apart is going that extra mile, doing more than what you're being paid for.
Wow.
As well as it sets you up for doing the work for the next job.
Yeah. Developing your skill level, obviously meeting more people. So, Kiara, to touch on doing more than what you're paid to do, which is actually a law of success from Napoleon Hill. When you do that extra mile, for the viewers watching, does that mean that you have to work 24 hours a day, or is it simply just doing a little bit more than the other person, or is it a combination of both?
I think it depends on the field, and it also depends on your goals.
Okay.
I think if you have your goal set to where you want to be the best in that particular industry, then I think that does mean when you're starting out working more hours.
Yeah.
Not necessarily at your job, but on your job.
Okay.
So finding out information. What does my boss know? What does, you know, the person who is at the top know that I don't know yet? Finding that out. So it is more hours, but it's a bit more hours of education rather than actually time on the job. Got it.
To switch subjects, switch gears, you revolutionized some pretty amazing products, and not to get too specific into the products like Charmsies or hair lingerie, that obviously you do a lot of hair lingerie and hair extensions for celebrities in Hollywood and around the world, but really for anyone who may have a product or have a service that they haven't pulled the trigger on, it's just an idea, what advice would you give to people like that?
Well, I think the largest separator between ideas and products, which is in a physical form, is action.
Action.
I think that a lot of people have some really great ideas, and they just don't have or haven't taken the action. They don't have the impetus to take the action.
Okay.
Whether it be through fear, lack of money, lack of knowledge on the action to take. But I think that we live in a day and age where, you know, the first action you need to take is to get the information to take the action.
Yeah.
You know, and so much of it is available on, you know, YouTube. It's available through mentors, through people.
Yeah.
And I think that for me too was another success principle of seeking out mentors.
Okay.
Really understanding that people want to help you.
Yeah.
And those people will actually will help you take the action by holding you accountable. They'll check in with you and say, hey, have you done this yet? You know, giving
checking
you a
in
little,
on you, making sure that you're on top of your game.
Yeah.
Good. So, Kiara, obviously you had mentors in the beauty industry, in hair specifically. Did you ever use the principle of mentorship and seek counsel for someone who wasn't necessarily in your industry?
Yeah, well, I've been very, very lucky because as a hairstylist, I sit down with people people from all walks of life.
Yeah.
So I can have throughout the course of a month 100 or 200 or 500 different people sit in my chair. I spend an hour with them.
Wow.
And lawyer, doctor, business person, billionaires, assistants.
Yeah.
I mean, from running the gamut.
Yeah.
And so I've been very privileged to have some phenomenal mentors in my life. And all it really was is me taking the time to say, hey, can I ask you a question and get your opinion on this?
Wow. So that leads me to my next question, people skills. Because you touched on that you have people, hundreds and hundreds of hours that you're talking to people sitting in a chair while you do their hair. How important is people skills in today's day and age with social media, with technology, with communication, face to face, really being at its lowest? How important is that personality component?
Well, I think now it's more important than ever.
Okay.
And the reason why is because, again, it's something that sets you apart.
Yeah.
The norm in society nowadays is send a text message to the person.
Yeah. Or
the
an
norm
email.
is send an email or get me on, one of the social media sites. When everyone's doing that, and we're being constantly bombarded by emails. It takes me 3 hours in the beginning of my day to go through all of the emails and decide, and half the time I end up deciding most of them aren't even important enough to reply to. So the idea of having those people skills, knowing the proper time, knowing proper business etiquette, proper personal etiquette, how to reach out to people, how to communicate, and develop relationships. Relationships are not built through email.
Yeah.
Relationships are built through face-to-face meetings and through phone conversations.
Exactly.
When someone hears your voice, they get something inside of their head that triggers a feeling about you. And then that's what their relationship going forward is built on.
Wow.
I think it's much more important in this day and age.
Wow. Kiara, thank you so much. Listen, I know you have a busy schedule. I want to thank you so much for dropping some knowledge on the show today. Viewers watching, just like what we heard from Miss Kiara Bailey, you got to take action. To reiterate on what she was saying, one, you got to be unique. In today's day and age, work a little bit harder. Be more personable. Face-to-face, phone calls. Really use this thing that you have called a voice. Then, you got to do what you love. And like you said, you got to put in the work, not necessarily at your job, but on the job. Study. Develop a higher skill level. Get in contact with mentors. And ultimately, just work really hard at your craft so that we can sit down with you and you share your success principles with everyone watching. With that being said, my name is McGarahan Junior. Thank you for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time.